So consider this table. It's a simple create table, and we have all the columns like integer, varchar, and date columns. So I'm going to create this table. I didn't mention here any indexing. So I'm going to create this table. So if I'm directly going to this create table, then it will be going to the DBC. DBC, you will not have access. So normally you have to mention the database. So which database you are going to create a table. So here in DBC I told, right, it's a database computer. So in DBC we do have a lot of databases. So any one of the database you have to mention the table name. Okay. So I'm going to mention the database name as retail dot the table name. So table name I'm mentioning like employee 28. So I'm going to create the table in the database name called retail. If you don't mention the database name, right, it will not be able to create. So it is showing like below, it will show you whether the table has been created or not. So it has been created with the 0 rows. So if you want to check after creating the table, you want to check whether the table has been created or how it will be, you can use something like select star from the table name. So you cannot directly use it. You have to use in this way. Select star from table name. It will show you the table, but it will not have any record. Okay. So it will show you like select completed 0 rows returned. So you want to see the structure of the table, how that has been created, as I told yesterday. So you can make like show select star from. So if you are making show select star from, it will show you that this is what it will show you that the table. Okay. So since here we have created a simple table, create table name. So by default, it is creating a set table. Set table in the sense, it will not allow full row duplicate. Set table is different. Unique primary index is different. Unique primary index, that particular column alone, it will not allow duplicate. But set table, all the columns, it will check all the columns. Same record should not be repeated. So by default, it will create a set table. It is creating a no fallback. Yesterday we have seen, right, no fallback. And before journal, after journal, I will tell you what is that journal concept after some time. Checksum. So checksum is nothing but it's a OS related stuff here, Teradata and OS related. So it will have always default. And see now the employee number, it is integer, all those. So here we have the first name column, it is a varchar, the varchar of 20 we have given. So it will take it like character set. Okay. So normally we have two types of character set. One is Latin and another one is Unicode. So either it will be created as Latin or Unicode. So normally if you are having like any metadata tables like DBC or some other tables, it will create like Unicode. Okay, it will not allow any junk values. If you are creating user table, it will create with the character set Latin. So I will show you some other tables like metadata table so that you can able to see the differences. So I'm going to use select star from dbc.tables. Okay, dbc.tables, it will give you all the table list, and then tables v is nothing but view. We are not going to directly hit on tables, we are going to hit on the tables v. Tables v is nothing but on top of dbc tables they would have created one view. These are all something like system table, right? System tables. I'm just opening it. Okay, the character set they haven't defined, right? So normally by default it will take character set as Unicode. For the user table it will take it like Latin. These are like metadata table. So this table has been created with character set Unicode, right? So this is what it will have. So not case specific. That means this column, so case insensitive. If you are giving like varchar, right? So if you are giving like any case sensitive data, it will not, no issues. Even you can give anyway. So this is what table will be created. If you check here, the character set is two types of character set. One is Unicode, the other one is Latin. So after that, you will find the date format. Date format you have to give in this format only, and the case specific. It will show you not case specific. If you want to mention like case specific, then you have to remove this and you have to create it. So primary index, it is taking like employee number. So always first column, it will take it as an employee number as first column as primary index. Got it? So this is what create table. So either you can go for show select star from, or you can mention like show table show table name. Then it will be able to create it. So on top of this table, if you want to create any view, you can create it. Okay, something like create or replace, or you can go for directly replace. Create or replace view name. So view name is, so whatever the database we are creating, like retail dot, so employee 28 underscore v. I'm creating a view as select star from. Yeah, if you want to have, if you want to create different column, you can be able to create different columns. You can directly go for replace view. So here you are not having that create view access. So I'm going for replace view name. Whenever I'm inserting a data into the table, the view also will get updated automatically. Okay, so here you can go for show view name. So you can mention like show view. It will tell you that what is the base table you have used. So what is the base table you have used to create a view. So that is why you will create, you will go for the show view name. So if you are going for select star from the view, it will show you the table name as well as the view name also. Okay, if you are going for select star from the view name, okay, it will show you the table name as well as view name. So this is a way in real time also. If you want to check how the view has been created, what are the columns they have mentioned, all those, you have to go for this way. The base table as well as the view will be showing you. So this is like a set table. It will not allow any duplicate record. It will not allow any duplicate record. So for example, if you want to insert some record into the table, insert into the table name. Okay, so you can go to the values. So you can mention the values. What are the values you want to have? For example, employee number. I'm going for employee number. So department ID, then first name. So I'm giving one first name, last name, comma, salary I'm giving. So I'm giving some salary here, and I'm giving date of birth. So date of birth, you have to give the format like this way. This is what you have to give the date format. So I cannot give the address like this way. You can address, close it, and execute it. So this line you can execute. One row inserted. If you go and check in the table, it is a set table, right? So select start from the table name. It will give you the result. It will give you the result. Okay. But if I'm going to, if I'm trying to insert the same record, it will not allow you. Why? Because it's a set table. It is a set table. The full row duplicate it will not allow. But since we have created the employee ID as the primary index, it will allow duplicate. If I'm going for this department ID 30, so it is not full row duplicate now. Since it is a primary index, it will allow now. If you have created the table as unique primary index, then it will not be allowed. So you can use it like this, and then you can see that 2 record is available. If you are checking the view also, you will have the 2 records automatically get updated, the view also. So this is what the set table. If you have created like multi-set table, then this record it will allow you. For example, this table, I'm going to create like multi-set table with multi-set table, and I'm going for employee 29. Assume that employee 29. If you are not mentioning anything, by default create a set table, right? So here I'm going to use multi-set table. You have to explicitly mention that multi-set table. That execute. Table has been created. Now I'm trying to insert this record. So into this table called 29. So it will be inserted. So even 2 times I'm going to execute. So 3 times it will be executed. So it will allow you to enter into the table. If you are going for some performance issue, you will go for multi-set table only. Why? Because it will not always check for the duplicate record. Table and all you are creating, right? Work table and that stage table and work table. Stage table and work table. These are like intermediate tables. So normally this is what the table will be in the real time. First it will go to the stage table. So from any outer world to Teradata, we will load it into the stage table, like incremental data. So from stage to work, we will load some intermediate calculation we will do. After that, from work table to final table. So you can have multiple work tables also, like one work table, then second work table. You can do lot of transformation logic by between the work tables, and you can load it into the final table. So final table will be a incremental load. So already data will be there in the final table. You are going to insert or update based on that. But work table and stage table is a truncate and load, like delete and load. So you will already delete the record and load it. So delete and load we will use. So this is also work table also, delete and load we will use. So it's again it's based on scenario. If you are facing some issues, we are going for the work table based on some insert into select you are making. Insert into select. Some you are getting some huge volume of record. There if you do not want to check duplicate, then you can go for the multi-set table. It will not go for the duplicate check. Then the performance will be so the performance will be faster when compared to set table. Set table means always it will check for the duplicate, right? Whenever you are inserting a record, one record if you are going to insert, it will Teradata will check that whether this record is present in any of them. It will check for the duplicate. So that is why it will take a lot of time. Instead of that, we will go for multi-set table. Normally multi-set table. But some scenario, if you are expecting like you should not allow full row duplicate, there you can go for set table. In our practical environment, we are using most of the cases are multi-set table only. And creating a set table will not allow any duplicate. Multi-set table will allow duplicate. So unique primary index. So I'm going to set table, you know, right? Already set table, it will not allow duplicate record, but full row duplicate. But unique primary index is nothing but this column alone will not allow duplicate. The other columns it will allow duplicate. Okay. So if you are mentioning like all the columns you mention it, finally you mention like unique primary index of employee number. It will not allow duplicate. This column will not allow duplicate. So I'm going to create this table. So I can go for even multi-set table also. Okay. So that column will not allow any duplicate. Okay. So we should not go for directly. You have to use the table database name. So database name, and then you have to run it. So table has been created. Now if I'm going to insert the record, even it will not allow duplicate on the particular column. So maybe 30. I'm going to insert the record. Same record I'm going to insert it. Duplicate unique primary key value. That is what we will be getting. So if you are changing this, it will allow. Now it will allow. If you are changing other columns, for example, if you are changing other columns, last time you have changed the department ID, this time it will not allow. So why? Because this column alone we have created as unique primary index. Okay, so if it is a set table or multi-set table, so it will allow. But here it is a unique primary index on this particular column, so it will not allow you to insert the duplicate record. So this is UPI column. So this column will not allow any. So it's completely on one-AMP operations. Okay. So non-unique primary index, if you are not mentioning anything, it will automatically take non-unique primary index. Set table with the unique primary index, that is what we have created now. Set table with the primary index, set table with the unique secondary index. So if you are going for secondary index, right? Unique secondary index, primary index and unique secondary index. So unique secondary index will not allow duplicate on the secondary index column, this column. Unique primary index and unique secondary index. Okay, both. So I'm removing this. I'm just creating like primary index and the unique secondary index. So whatever the way you want to have, you can create it. So it has been created. Now this column will not allow duplicate. This department. One person should be there in one department only. So only one person will be allowed for one department. So I have entered. Then I'm going for some other person, but of the same department. It will not allow. Secondary index uniqueness violation. This is what you will be getting. Then you have to check what is that secondary index it has been. You have to go for like so select start from this show table name, you can mention it, and then you can check how it has been created. Okay. Okay, so you can assume that, okay, primary index of employee number, unique. So if you are going for secondary index, no need to mention like secondary index and all. If you are mentioning like indexing, primary index or indexing, it will take it like first index will be a primary index. The second index it will automatically take it as secondary index, unique secondary index. So if you want to explicitly mention unique, you have to mention like unique second unix. So here the table has been created with multiple primary index. Okay, can I create multiple primary index? Yes, you can create multiple primary index. Like I'm going to create with multiple primary index. So this way it will reduce the skewness. The combination of these column, it will go for the hash value. Okay, it is used to create the hash value. Then it will reduce the skewness. So this is multi-column primary index. Here you can go for unique primary index also. These three combination, it will not allow duplicate. Unique primary index, okay. I'm going for 34 now. This combination, it will not allow duplicate. See here, 34, I'm creating it. I'm giving some value now. This will be allowed, okay. Again, so since it is a unique primary index, I'm changing some other number. Some other number. Will it allow? The employee ID, I have changed a different number. It will allow. So when it will not be allowed?
Same primary number, same number will not be allowed.
Yeah. See here, I'm going to create this table. It will allow now. But if you are going for same employee number, department number, and salary, it will not allow. So different location I'm going for, so it will not allow. Why? Because the same employee number, department number, salary I'm using. Instead of this salary, I'm going for different salary. It will allow now. So this is what combination of some columns for the primary index. Either it is a primary index or unique primary index. You can go for anything. A fallback table, as I told, so we are not going to see any differences in the fallback or no fallback. By default, the database will take it like.
By default, it will be taken as fallback.
No fallback. By default, it will be no fallback.
Oh.
Okay. See here, I'm showing you by default, it will be a no fallback table. If you want to mention, then you have to mention like after mentioning the table name, comma, fallback, you have to mention it. Then it will be created. Okay, so here you have to mention. So fallback. Okay, this way you have to mention. Then it will be created. For example, I'm creating like something like 40. I'm creating a table with fallback table. It will be created. So select star from 40. It is a fallback table now. It is a fallback table now. So this is the way you can create fallback, no fallback table. Creating a table with no fallback, by default you go for no fallback, or you can mention like no fallback. Before journal, after journal. Journaling concept I will tell you after some time, okay? After journal, dual journal, columnar table. So this one, creating a unique secondary index after creating a table. So if the table contains a record, even you can change the unique secondary index, or you can create the unique secondary index after creating a table. So making an exact, I will show you. Okay, after creating a table, if you want to make, if you want to change the primary index from one column to other column, how to do that? I'll tell you. Okay, exact copy of the table with the data you have to mention this way. Create table name, create table name as another table name with the data. If you are going for the table name, you can mention simply a table name, or if you are going for something like select star from, then you have to mention like. So if you want to create an exact copy of the existing table, you have something like a backup table we are creating, right? So we can create like backup table like this. Okay, so I'm going to create one table. So I will check whether the record is present. Yes, the record is present. I'm going to create one more table, backup table for this table, exact copy of this table. Okay. So you got to mention create table, table name underscore bkp. I'm creating as, you can mention the table name or the select also. So you can mention the table name or select also as table name with the data. You have to mention in this way with the data. So if you want to have only structure, then no need to mention that. You can mention like with no data. You can mention like with data or with no data. So these two are same. If you are making select star from, you have to make it like bracket. So this one I'm creating it right now. Create table completed. This also will create the same table. Different name I have given. If you go and check this backup table, the record is present now. So this is a backup table. So if you do not want like data, you do not want the data, you have to mention like with no data. Only structure of the table will be created. So table has been created, right? So if you go and check, this table will have only the structure of the table. After that, you can insert into table name, something you can mention it. So you want the primary index also to be copied, then you have to mention with the data, comma primary index of. So you have to mention like primary index, right? Otherwise, the primary index will not be copied. Primary
Okay,
index
writing.
of that column you have to mention it. Which column you want to make it like primary index. So for example, this table, right? So select star from backup, right? So primary index. So since it is only first column, it will be automatically taken. But if you are mentioning like different primary index, right? It will not be taken. 34 backup. I'm creating it with the data. Okay. Data. We'll check whether the primary index is copied or not. Okay. Show table, table name. It will show you that. So primary index didn't copy it. Here we have the show table. We have how many columns are there in the primary index? 3 columns. We have created like with the data. Since we
Yes.
haven't mentioned that primary index, it will create like only one column as primary index. If you want to copy it, then you have to mention like this way. So backup one I'm creating, okay, with the data, with the primary index
Primary
of
3 columns we
the
have to.
column you have to mention, okay. Primary index of those 3 columns you have to mention. These 3 columns you have to mention it.
Yes.
Otherwise, it will not be created like. So whenever you are
Yes.
creating a table, so you have to mention that primary index also. Now if you go and
Okay.
check this table, backup one, okay. So underscore backup one show table, it will have that primary index also. See now the backup table also will have the primary index. This is what you have to create it with the data and primary index. Only to mention
Oh,
make commander, you have to directly mention like with data space primary index of which column you want to have. So you can create in this way. If you don't mention, the first column will be taken as primary index while creating the backup table. So this is like create table, select star from we have used, right? Instead of table name directly, we are using just select star from the table name. Okay, with the data. Specific column if you want to have, then you can mention like select the column names with the data. If you want to create table with statistics, you have to mention with the data and the stats. So you'll do some collect stats, right? If you want to create a table, so you are selecting some record from other table. So you want to copy the stats also with the primary index. So you have to mention with the data and you have to mention in that way. Stats also will be collected. Statistics means it is after loading the data on the table we will create statistics. So now we will create one table with primary index and then we will try to change it. We are creating a table with primary index of employee number. Okay. So first we are creating the table as primary index of employee number this way. Then I'm loading the data. Before loading the data, if you want to change it, you can change it. For example, first of all, I have created the table with primary index of employee number, right? After that, I want to modify it. So you can mention like alter table, table name. Table name is, this is the table name. Okay, you have to use modify. Okay, modify primary index of, if it is simply primary index, you can mention like primary index of, instead of employee number, I'm going for employee number and department number. Employee number, comma, department number I'm going for. So this one I'm executing it. The table has been modified now. Okay. If you check now, show table name. Since we don't have any data in the table, it has been modified, right? So table, so it will be available like, you check now. So it has been changed, but we have created a table. Okay, so I'm going to drop this table, recreate. You have created a table and loaded some data, drop table, table name. I'm going to create again the same table with only one column as primary index, and I'm going to load some record into the table. I'm going to load the record into the table. So with the primary index of one column, right? After that, I'm using the same alter statement. So with no data, we able to do it, but with data, you cannot able to do it. We cannot do it. Okay. So this is what you will be having: alter table, table name. If you want to do it, one thing is, you drop the table and recreate it, or you create a backup table for this and truncate the table, entire table, delete all the record, and then load it again. So we will do it now. So I'm going to create a backup for this table, or you can do one more thing. You can simply rename this table. So normally you will not drop the table, existing table. So rename table name to new table name, like 50 underscore. Simply we are creating a table with backup. Rename table, old name to new name. I just renamed. Okay, the table. Now I can create the table with primary index of two columns, correct? The 50 has been renamed now. 50 will not be available. So I'm creating the table with two columns now. I have created table. This is what we will do in real time also. Then you have to bring back the record from backup table to normal table. Insert into this table. Okay. So you have to mention select star from the table name, right? So you can directly mention, no need to mention anything. Select star from underscore backup.
We rename the existing table and then we recreate the table and then we are trying to insert the whole.
See here, select. So instead of creating a backup table and then drop and recreate, I haven't dropped a table. So why? Because sometimes if you drop the table, the property also will get dropped. Table property will get dropped, right? That is why we have renamed it. This table structure will not anywhere change. Sometimes if you drop the table and recreate it, right? Some of the Unicode character or some character they have created, it will be changed to the default, the table and all. So to avoid that, we are going for this way, renaming it, and we are doing it to primary index. The same way, if you want to go for unique primary index, you have to mention modify unique primary index. So if the table doesn't have any record, so if you want to make it like unique primary index, you can mention like unique primary index. This one will not be, it will not do it now. Why? Because the table contains record. Okay, unique is not allowed. So you have to use delete from table name. So here in Teradata, so whatever that statement you are executing, it's auto commit. Okay, if you have deleted, that's all. After deleting it, you cannot retrieve it. So in Oracle, we have something like, you can retrieve, right? DML statement, you can do the rollback. But in Teradata, we don't have any rollback. Okay, that is why we should be very careful on before deleting the record. So after deleting it, I have changed it unique primary index. Before that, we were getting some error. Now it is, we are getting like, okay, the table has been created, altered. So this is what you can go for: primary index, set table, multi-set table, all those. The one thing is, if the table contains data, you cannot alter it, correct? So what we can do, two way you can do. One thing is, you create one backup table for the existing table. Okay, so you create backup table. Here you have the table. It has some data also.
Yes.
It has some data
Okay.
already. Okay.
Okay.
Something like this will be a primary index now. But you want to add this column also primary index. So with the data you cannot modify. What you can do?
Okay.
You can create one backup table for this, right? You can create one backup table, and then you can truncate all the record from the table. You can delete table. So if the table doesn't have any record, then you can modify it, correct? Modify it and bring back again. Or you can drop the table. But if you are creating a backup table, right, sometimes the table structure, okay, if you are dropping a table and then creating it, this table structure might be the Unicode or Fallback or some other, they would have created something, it will get changed, the primary index will get changed. To avoid that, so if the table contains data, we are just renaming it. This table, we are just renaming it, okay? We are renaming it different way, we are renaming it, this table. So just we are renaming it, this one. We are renaming it this one. And then we are creating one table newly. Then we are bring back the record from here to here. Okay, so anyway, you can, the both way we will do, but renaming option only we will do. Why? Because we are not going to drop the table, right? The table will be maintained. While dropping it, if it is something happened while creating the backup table, some record is not moved correctly, then it will be a very big issue, correct? You have millions of record here. Okay, in this table, you have millions of record. You are creating a backup table. If it is not correctly created the backup table, what will happen? If you truncate the table, main table, if you truncate, the record will go off, right? So to avoid this kind of confusion, we are just renaming it and then creating the table structure with modified primary index, then inserting it by selecting the backup table record. So insert into table name, no need to mention anything, directly can mention select start from that column name. Okay, no need to mention any bracket or with the data or something, no need to mention all that, okay? So this is what you will go for the create table structure. We need to do, as you said, you are going to work in something like bteq script or something. We are having source table. This is source table. This is Teradata. You are bringing the data from this table to Teradata. So you are going to do lot of logic in multiple stages. Multiple stage. You are not applying all the logic into a single query. You are going to apply a lot of logic, and then you are bringing the record to this final table. These are like a stage table. This will be a stage table. Okay, this will be a stage table. This will be a work table. Table 1. Okay, work table 2. Something like work table is nothing but some intermediate table. Normally you will have some intermediate table. So intermediate table you will have. You will bring the record from the source table to the stage table. Stage table always will be a delete and load. Why? Because you'll have all the data to the final table here, right? Up to yesterday data, it will be available here. No need to keep the record in the stage table or even any work table. Normally stage table and work table are delete and load. We will delete the record in this table and then load it again. New record. For today, we will load it again, right? This was stage table. For example, just up to yesterday, you have loaded the data into the final table. Got it?
Okay.
Up to yesterday, you have taken the record into the final table. So you need to bring back today's record only. That is the delta load, correct? We will call it as delta, right? So delta record. That is whatever the data has been inserted or updated after this particular date. We will have some threshold date. From that date only we will fetch. For example, up yesterday 7 p.m. it has been loaded. Up to 7 a.m. it has been loaded. Okay, or 9 a.m. it has been loaded. Yesterday up to 9 a.m. loaded. So yesterday's 9 a.m. to today's 9 a.m. is one day data will be available here, right? It is not available. It is not loaded here. So we will take that one day data and then load it into the stage table. Do I need the yesterday's table, the data in the stage table? No, right?
No.
We have already loaded. So stage table, we will delete the record, already record, and then load it. Then stage 2 work table, we will do some transformation logic. From work table 1 to work table 2, we will do again something like joins, subqueries. We will apply some logic and then we will load. Again, here to here, we will apply some logic. So we don't have any more record. Then we'll go for merge query, merge into target table. So you know that merge, right? Merge statement, merge query also, merge into this table. Why? Because why we are merging? If the record is already present here, we will update. If the record is not present, we will insert it. That is what we will do. So now always remember the stage table and work table will be delete and load. We will delete the record in the existing table and then load it. Why? Because this will have only one day record. This all the orange color represents one day. But it will have final table will have all the history of data. We are just inserting or updating, right? We are not deleting it. Okay, that is why the stage table and work table will be. Stage table is landing area, might be your Oracle. So from Oracle to you are bringing the record into the Teradata, correct? Yes. So first you will bring the record from Oracle to Teradata in the stage table. This entire staging is under Teradata. Got it? This work table, stage table, and final table will be on the Teradata. So normally Teradata will be running on the parallelism, right?
Yes.
For analysis purpose, it will be good. So for analysis purpose, we are going to analyzing, right? For any banking domain or any domain, they will do a lot of analysis, like how the customer is performing, how the product is moving, okay, which region is performing well, which region is not performing well, how much we have collected for today's profit, loss, everything they will analyze it on the table.
All those details will be there in general normal rdbms also, right? But
yeah, this is also rdbms only. Teradata also it's rdbms only, but it can handle huge volume of data. So this is for the user. For example, you are having the banking, right? This will be your OLTP system. OLTP is nothing but your online transactional processing. Also, if I am the user for my ICICI bank, I will go to www.icici.com and then I will do transfer, or I will purchase some. I'm going to recharge my phone. Then I will use my ICICI Bank mobile net banking, and then I'm using that amount and I'm doing the transaction. Right, everything will be saved in this database.
Then
so at one hour once, yeah, 1 hour once we are loading the data from here to here for the analysis purpose. Due to Corona, how we are impacted last 4 days. Okay, we want to analyze it. Whether we have improved. Some business will get improved. Some business will go very slow, right? I have different businesses. So what is the impact on our Corona effect? Something you want to analyze it. So you will analyze on this Teradata only. Most of the companies, if they are going for huge volume of data, they will analyze it on the Teradata only. Why? Because Teradata for analyzing it will be faster, running faster when compared to others. This Teradata is for analysis purpose, meant for business people, not for the end user. Sometimes we will get data from this Teradata also for the applications, but most of the Teradata, most of this OLAP system is meant for analysis purpose. We will do analysis, okay? So that is why we are loading the data from here to here every 1 hour once or half an hour once.
When we are trying to look for the history and all, there won't be they in general Oracle systems and all, we cannot able to access those.
Yeah. Why? Because it should not have more than 5 years or more than 1 year. It depends on the company. Some company will have 5 years of data here. Some company will have only 1 year. So and also here, how can I find that the record has been changed last 1 hour, insert or updated? We will something like commit timestamp. Okay, so timestamp column will be there. Commit timestamp or created date or updated timestamp will be there. Commit timestamp or created date. Okay, or created timestamp, updated date. These columns is audit columns. Based on this column, we will bring that data into the Teradata. While we are loading the stage table, right? We will be making like select star from the table here, Oracle. Okay, where created date and timestamp is greater than or equal to 2 days half an hour. That sequence we will make it like. If it is half an hours, then 1 day it will be running on 48 times. 48 sequence will be running. Based on the sequence number, we will be passing the timestamp and then we will fetching the data from here to here. Whatever the half an hour it is getting inserted or updated here, it will be picked up.